There are a few trees also here. So if you just go around, you could see that. If you couldn't able to identify where they are, just press 4 on your keyboard. The 4 is wireframe mode. So in the wireframe mode, you could see we have trees. We have trees here, and let me show you what we have here. Let me just press 5. And remember this: whenever you see a scene where everything is green in color, which means the objects are not allotted to this. Anyone remember that? Now I'll explain you how to create materials and shaders for this. Okay. Anyway, you'll be dealing about those in your lighting and in your modeling and texturing classes. Okay. In your modeling texturing classes, have you guys been through this hypershade or how to create materials in Maya? No. Yes. No. Whenever you see objects like this in green in color, which means there are no shaders or there are no materials for this. Or I can go to my just normal light, create light. Let me create an ambient light. Okay. So there's an ambient light here. I just position it above the scene so you could see it. Okay, we just create our own light. I go to my Arnold. I go to my render scene. In the software mode, I didn't get anything. Then try with Arnold render mode. Again, I couldn't see anything there. Okay, because there are no materials for this object. So what is materials, sir? How do you use it? What are the materials? What do you call it a shader? That's the class about. Oh God. Okay, now look at this. These are all the default shaders. We call this shaders. Why? What is shaders about? So let's talk about shaders for PS games. Shaders for cyberpunk game. Other shader for games. Yeah, guys, look here. Yeah, I think my system is slow, ma'am. And it is not that much slow. I have a good Wi-Fi connection. I don't know what's happening. Yeah, let me go to images, cyberpunk game again here. I don't know why they put this images tag here and there. Okay, now look at this scatter here. Now look at this environment. We have a game environment here where you could see there are metals here. There are metals and the human hand is holding it. And when you look into this environment, just look at this environment, we have a PS4 game. Now look at this images here. So yeah, here we have cyberpunk game. So here you could see that the hero character has goggles, right? It is a glass shader. So you could see there is much reflection there. When you look at the metal door, it has a mild reflection. Okay. And similarly, when you look at the human skin won't have reflections like a metal or something. Okay. Whereas if you look into a glass or a metal again, you'll have reflection. Okay. And look at here, this road is a wet road. The road here is a wet road. So the wet road it's water, right? So water, it has a reflection and refraction like a water. Okay. And similarly, when you take any game environment, so each and every object has its own properties. Okay. Are you guys there? Are you guys listening?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. Now look at here. Now look at this game. These are just shaders. These are just shaders and materials. Look at this one. There are some materials that are given here. So this one is a leather material. Because it's a leather material, it's a black leather, and this is a stitched leather material. Okay. So what is this material or what is shader, guys? Shader and material both are same. Shader and material both are same. See, when I ask you to create this shape in Maya, you can create it easily. Okay, but will that object be a leather, or will that object be a metal, or will that object be a glass surface, or will that object be a plastic or a wooden material? Okay, that's up to the texturing artist. We call them as a shader or material artist. So what they do here is they apply materials to the objects, to the 3D models. So such as they are the ones who give the properties for the 3D model, such as let's say that I just by looking at any object, I can say whether it is made of plastic, wood, or metal, or iron, or water. I can just say it by looking at it. It's awesome, na? Yeah, you guys all really wonder. Okay, guys, that is how materials and shaders work. Okay, that is how materials and shaders work. So what actually happens is, see, look at this one. They just created this as a material. So so let me put this little more simple. So every object has its own property. Metal gives more reflection. Glass gives much. Glass gives a different opaque. Water gives reflection plus refraction. Light goes inside the water and comes out. Okay, a wood material, no reflection. A wooden material, I mean, no, if it is a polished wooden, that is different. If it is a normal wooden, there won't be any reflection. Okay, and if you take the hair and skin of a human, okay, if there is no oil or water applied, the skin and hair and on the bricks of a wall, they and the wooden material, they don't reflect anything. Okay, so each object has its own properties just by showing how much reflection and specularity the object can emit. That is how our human brain could be able to disintegrate and categorize the objects made of what material. Okay, that is what shader is about. So, sir, why do you say shader? Why it is different for gaming, sir? Because let me show you something. Shaders for leather jacket um, in rain. Okay. Now let me just show you some examples. So, yeah, look at this one. So these are some of the leather jackets that you could find in the cyberpunk game. Okay. But when you look at the leather jacket, when the hero is wearing the leather jacket and he is walking inside the game under daylight, the shader will be different. Whereas the same jacket when the hero is wearing and walking in a under a wet rainy day, the shader will be different. Hope you guys understand. So based upon the light and reflection, the material has to emit the properties. Okay. So what happens is this shaders, we call this as shaders, guys, or materials. So shaders for consoles. What is console? Consoles are the machines purely made for gaming, such as I go with all. See, for a mobile game, that there are different shaders that are used for the mobile games. And for a PC game, the shaders they use will be of different. And for PlayStation game, it's different. For Nintendo games, it's different shader. Okay, so that is why there is a job called shader programming. I'll just take you there directly. Look at the shaders here. In Maya, we have some default shaders. Yes, these are some default shaders that Maya has, but it is not limited to these shaders. So you have the liberty to create your own shaders. You can do anything beyond it. And I'm just showing some of the basic shaders of Maya. Maya also has 50 and 100 plus shaders. Okay, so there are Maya shaders. Look at what are the Maya shaders here. Maya has Lambert shader. So whenever you feel you want to give material, or if you want to give colors to a wall or wood or brick or skin or hair, the first thing you should do is you should apply a Lambert material. Guys, Maya shaders. When I say shaders or materials, both of them. Okay. Yeah. So So look at this. So Lambert is a material we use for wall, wood, brick, skin, and hair. Don't forget that. And if you want to create any polished, what do you call that? A polished metal with a sharp reflection, okay, then you should apply a Fong material to the 3D object. Okay, guys, remember this. See, if you are making a cot or if you're making a table in Maya, whether it's a wooden table or iron table or metal, whatever metal table it is, or a glass table, the way you model will be always the same. Please understand something. The way you model the table is always the same. But is it a wooden, is it a metal, or is it a glass? It would be done only by the material what you apply there. So if it's a metal, you have to apply a Fong material because a Fong material has the properties that it would reflect too much of light. So you can easily, or the user can easily say, okay, that is a metal table. Or a glass, if it is a glass, then you could go with a blend. Blend would be suitable for glasses and for not polished materials. Similarly, we have Fongy. And also we have Arnold shaders. Okay, hope we discussed about Arnold shaders, right? AI standard surface, which you can use to give for gold material or water or rubber or plastic, anything you can give that. Okay. Similarly, for the look at this one, the shaders of materials. So the properties of for shaders of a material, such as a cloth has a different property: human, metal, glass, brick, concrete, plastic, water, aluminium, and you can say anything. Okay, every object has its own properties. So each property will be called as a shader or material. So this shader okay. These shaders, if you really want to earn so much of dollars, so much money, then be a shader programmer. Be a shader programmer, then gaming companies would hire you. Okay, because when someone makes a game, the shaders that they create for PC will be different. The shaders they create for Mac, okay, which are Apple systems is different. And the game when they make for platform like your mobile phone, that's a different one. Similarly, the shader when they make for PS4, Nintendo, then Xbox, okay, and also Google Stadia. So there are many other game consoles there. So for each game consoles, they use different variety of materials. So why do they use a different variety of materials? Because Xbox is Microsoft owned. He won't share his code with anyone. And PS4 is PlayStation, Sony. So what are the codes they use? They won't share with anyone. So in a similar way, Apple, they never share the code with anyone. PC, they may share at least. Okay. So each and everyone have the different platforms, so they require different coding. So that's what happens. So when you really want to be to earn millions and millions of dollars more than a software developer, go with the shader programmer, shader artist, you will create it. Anyway, you can also create in Maya. So Maya has its own default materials that we'll discuss them now. Okay. Now remember, Lambert is a shader we give for wall, wood, brick, skin, and hair. Okay. Let me just minimize this. I'll go here. So the first thing I do is let me select the floor here. Okay, I select the floor. Let me select the floor. Yeah, this is the lawn, right? So what I want to create some materials and shaders now. So please listen carefully here. I'm going to click the button here, which is Hypershade window. Please click this window. The moment you click, it would open. Okay, if not, usually I have a habit to go to my window, rendering editors and Hypershade. See, it's got memorized. Okay, because this is how I got it. Because back in my time when I was learning Maya, icons were not that much there. So Maya was much better. I hate when Autodesk bought Maya, man. They really spoiled Maya like anything. I liked Maya when it was under Alias. Alias Maya was really good. And I got a few messages in MS Teams. Let me check what they are. Now look at this. So this is a window where we create materials or shaders. Look at this. By default, we have Lambert 1, which means whenever you create a new 3D model, okay, you could see that model will be of this color. Have you wondered why that is in this color? Because by default, it is Lambert shader is applied to the material. Why Lambert they applied, sir? Because it has no reflection. Look at that. There is no reflection or anything. So you could see the model there clearly. Anyway, now I would like to create a model for, shader for this lawn. So the lawn is it's not reflection material, right? It's just a mountain or a rock without reflection. So I would like to create a Lambert. So let me go to my here. Look here carefully, guys. So let me go to my Maya here. Maya. Okay, I just select here, and there you could see standard surface blend Lambert. Okay, let me create a Lambert. Don't use this one. This is a default Lambert. This is a default Lambert. Don't make any change in that. Because if you make any change in this, then the object whatever you create newly, for example, if you create a new cube, the changes whatever you made there will be applied. So don't make any changes to that. So now I'm going to create a new material, which is a Lambert. The moment I click, you could see that will be added here. There is already Lambert 1. So when I click this new one, watch what happens. Okay, we got Lambert 2. And you could see the moment you click the properties, you could see how the object will be here. So you could see that. And there is also, you could see the nodes inside of this that we'll discuss later. We won't discuss, maybe in your texturing class. So select Lambert 2. And what's the color we need for the lawn? Let me click this color and choose something like something of this color. Okay. So it is already green in color. Yes, I know, but don't do that. We have to give some material because now there is no material. That's why it is green in color. Now this is Lambert 2. Now I want to name this Lambert 2. Don't put anything as Lambert 2. Okay. Because when you buy a dog, you should name the dog, right? You will not call it as dog all the time. Okay. So similarly here, just change the name of the material from Lambert 2 to what is that? Mountain. Great. Now I just middle click. What is middle click, sir? Just click and hold the mouse wheel. Just middle click, drag the mountain, drop it on the object here. Okay, yeah, it is applied. And okay, it's applied there. Or now tell me what are the materials we have, Lambert 1 and mountain. This is one way you can just drag and drop. Or see, I just select Lambert, middle click, drag and drop. And if it is not updated, just move your mouse, then it will be updated. Because once you drag and drop, it may not reflect until you move the mouse. See, I middle click, drag and drop. I applied, but nothing is happening because I think I should move my mouse. I scroll the wheel back and front, so it will be updated. Yeah, it's updated. Because my system is slow, man. I don't know what about yours. So, okay. Now, there is another way to apply this material. See, listen carefully, guys. Select the object. There are two materials, right? And I already told you, we call it as a material or shader. So now right click this object, right click and hold the mouse. That you can see assign existing material. Existing material in the sense the materials which is already created and is in Maya. Create பண்ணி வச்சிருப்பீங்க இல்லையா அந்த materials. Yeah, click this assign existing material and go for mountain. Or you can select this object, right click, assign existing material, Lambert 1. Nothing is happening. Right click, assign existing material, Lambert 1. It's too bad. I hate you, Maya. Assign existing material, Lambert 1. There is something wrong with my system, and okay, don't mind. Anyway, this works. Okay, great. Now we have to create few other materials which are for this tree's wooden part. Let's create a wood, and I already told you that wood is also a Lambert. So we can go with yeah, this exterior, man. This is just exterior. It's a mountain and a tree, and what you could expect. It will be only Lambert. Let me create another Lambert there. Okay. And this time I named this as wood, WOOD. And the color, you can pick the color. Okay, not too much. That's fine. So this is a wood material. Now, see, I'm going to select this tree, select, right click, assign existing material, wood. Awesome. See, I select and applied, both are applied. And here, the right side of your screen, there is a tree and there is leaf. When you press 4, you could see the difference there. There is a tree and there is leaf. So have the difference. So now select the tree, press 5. 5 is for your shaded view. Right click, assign existing material, wood. Done. And for this leaf, we have to apply shader now. So let's create another Lambert. Let's go with Lambert, or you guys can go with the blend. Okay, it's up to you. Maybe I go with the blend now. See, this blend is, you could see, like aluminum polished. So I don't think this would work. Anyway, I just right click, I delete this. So remove, oh, what is that one? Right click, remove object, delete. It's not there, man. So just select this one and hit delete on your keyboard. It's gone now. So let me create another Lambert. Great. And this time the Lambert name is Inada Pere. Leaves, right?
Leaves.
And the color, yeah, good. Okay. Now I just select this one, right click, assign existing material, and leave. And ta-da! And fine. Here I want to change the color of this mountain as if I'm in Mars planet. Okay, select the object, right click, go to material attributes. So you could be able to change the attribute of this material. This is the mountain material. See? Now I just change the color. Too dark. Yeah. Now you're in Mars. I've been to Mars, guys. So, yeah. Then again, right click, assign. You can just select, right click, material attributes. You can change the color back. Anyway, I don't have the patience to do that, so I just press Control Z. Sorry, just Z. Yeah, I got the color back. Z is undo, right? Okay. Objects here, isn't it? Same one. Okay. Now, this is the water. This is the water between the mountains. Look at this. So, and it is also a greenish color, which means no material applied. There is no material applied to this. So when you select this, right click, assign existing, go with Lambert 1. I don't know, man. I don't know what's called the Lambert 1 is not applying to any object. Okay, anyway, now let's select this. Now I go to my Hypershade window. Guys, now I want to create a water. The water material is not available by default in Maya. But I hope you guys remember there is an AI standard surface from which we can access water or glass or diamond, anything. So I just go here and there is Arnold. Just scroll here. By default, you have Maya. You can just expand or you can close. See, you can expand or close. Close that. Now click Arnold. And under Arnold, there is a shader. Click shader. And now just scroll down to find out AI standard surface. Where is that? Where is that? Where is that? Where is that? Yeah, here it is. AI standard surface. Let me just click this. The moment I click, you could see the material here. Yeah, where it is. It's AI standard. Okay, now, now there is a preset. Look at the preset. Guys, either you could change the properties of the material inside the Hypershade, Okay, or you can just, when you double click, you could get the same properties in your attribute editor also. So anything is the same. So go to the presets, click and click. There you could see all the presets. Now I want this material to obey like a water. So go to clear water and replace. So now this is a clear water. Look at that. This will be a clear water. Maybe I can just middle click, drag and drop on this object. Okay, now it is there. Just minimize this. It is there. Okay, fine. So let me delete this ambient light. I don't know whether ambient light would work in Arnold or not. Let me just go to my render settings, and I want to check what size of render. I would like to go with 320 by 240. Let me render the scene using Maya. But is it working in Maya? I think my light was not working. So maybe I could just select the light and delete. Now I go with Arnold. No, not Arnold. Let me go with create light, and there you can find direction light. I repeat, guys, go to create lights, there you can find a direction light. Like that. Okay. What is this? Let me close this. Arnold, open Arnold render view. Guys, I just go to Arnold and I opened Arnold render view because I have a live real-time rendering update available. So you could see the play button there. So once I click, it will start to render the scene. Okay. And look at this. There's a light. Let me press R, direction light. Okay. So when you press E, you can rotate the light. A minute. Something wrong with my system. Whoa, 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 whoa. Oh, there's something wrong with my system. Stop the render. Oh, yeah. Thank you for cooking up. Yeah, now look at this. Guys, this is direction light. Please do understand how the direction light works. A direction light, first you have to scale it up unless you can't see the direction where it's focusing. Now the light is coming from that direction towards your direction. Okay, so when you press E, you can rotate it to that. Now the light is going from the camera direction to the screen direction. Okay, and anyway, when there is a sunlight usually comes from the top, right? So let's position this light a little up. Look at that. I just move this light. Guys, remember one thing. Moving a direction light will not make any impact on the scene because no matter however you move, it is still pointing in the same direction. It is top down. So, but when you rotate the direction light, it makes an impact. Look at that. Because a rotation changes the value, the direction of the sunlight. It changes the direction of the shadow. So rotation makes changes. Whereas if you just move the light, no matter whether you move in X, Y, or Z, it's always the same. That is one thing with direction light. Anyway, since the direction light is on, let me just let me just increase intensity. Look at that. I increased the intensity there. Now you could see how the direction light works. Press E and you can see the outputs. It's changing, right? So that is what direction light does. So when you look at when you look into the experts or some lighting artists, experienced artists, they would create their own light, which means their own rig. Rig in the sense, see, if it is sunlight, you'll be having one light from the top, and they just duplicate another light. They put one here, then they duplicate another light. They put one here, then they just duplicate another light. Control D, then they put one this direction. Then from here, Control D, then they put another one here. Then they just combine all this light or group all this light, like a Control G, they can group all this light and they name it as a sunlight. Okay, and for all this light, they reduce the intensity. Okay, so that's what actually happens. So when it is an exterior lighting, they have their own rig. When I say RIG, which is a control group, they create their own rig and they go with that rig. Okay, so that's how it works. So they create their own rig and work with this. Okay, so this is the property of a direction light. Let me just undo this light and delete this. Right. Okay. So this is the light we have. What's happened? Just read into the thing here. Stop, close. Go away, go away. Arnold, open render Arnold view. Let me just play this. Yeah. Okay, guys, now we understood this. And the one thing which I like with direction light is no matter whether it is 1 kilometer or 2 kilometer. For example, if you just position the light direction in this way, no matter how much big your scene is, even if your scene is of 100 kilometer, 200 kilometer, this direction light will travel all the way and all the distance in the same manner. That's a direction light. It has no limit. In this direction, it will just emit the light for the entire scene. So that's one cool thing with direction light. And that's the reason they use direction light as sunlight. Okay. Fine. And this will be for the test. So let me select the direction light and delete it. I don't want the direction light. So now what we are going to do? Now I'm going to Arnold menu. There is light, and under light we have sky dome light. Go to Arnold menu, and under light you have sky dome light. This will be good light. You can just click that. Look at that one. Yeah, it's really cool, right? Look at this. It's really cool lighting there. So maybe you can go to the panels menu here, and under perspective you have camera one, which is already there available. Now, okay, and now I click here and choose my camera shape one. Now look at that. Okay, so this is your sky dome light. The light sky dome. And what is the other thing with sky dome? You can just yeah, look here. So this is sky dome light. Okay, so what we do is you can even increase intensity. I like the light, but not a big fan of this light. Okay, maybe I go to my okay, let this be. I don't want to change the camera angle. So it's a kind of a good lighting. You can even increase the intensity. So for that, you can really get a good colors and everything there. Okay, so this is a really good light. But the reason why I don't like much is because everything is flat there. Everything is flat, but it's good lighting. We call this kind of lighting as global illumination because of the access files. Whereas go a little above, there you can find source images. Paste your extracted hi-fi sky image.exr in this location inside source images folder. Okay. If your question is like, sir, what is EXR format? Okay. EXR is what do you call that? It's a floating point high dynamic range image. Okay. I hope you guys know what is high dynamic range image, right? High dynamic range image, high dynamic radius image. Do you guys know that? You guys might have learned in your photography classes. Yes, no.
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay, anyway, see, this high dynamic range image is of 70 MB. Why? One image is 70 MB, sir. It is just one sky. You could see, try to open with my phone view. That's my phone view open. So go to open it, open. Like this. Yeah, yeah. So it's just one image there. Look at that. Yeah, Ifan view is my favorite image viewer. I've been using it for several years. See, sir, what is it? Why is it 70 MB size? It's not just because of a resolution. It is of it's like a 8092. It's like a 8K image. But is that the only reason, sir? Because of a high resolution, we go with EXR. Why not JPEG or PNG or Targa pixel? Why we go with EXR? That EXR is a file format where it allows you to store the light information with it. That's why we call this high dynamic range image or high dynamic radius image. You should have learned this in your lighting class. Sorry, in your not lighting class. Of course, we are learning it now. You should learn it in your photography classes or graphic design classes. So this high dynamic range image, when you take a picture by using this high dynamic range image format, what would happen is the light or the amount of light energy that you receive from the object or the light source to your camera, that light information will be saved. Please remember that light information will be captured and saved with the image. So whenever you open a EXR file, it is not just an image file with RGB values, okay? Because everything is RGB here. It also stores the light information. So that's why people prefer to go with this value. So all the light information will be in one layer. So that will be +3 or -3 light information values you can change. So you can open EXR file and you can just bring down the light, or you can just scale up the light a little bit. Because it was already there, so you can easily do it. Instead of going to levels or curves to change, to make some fake adjustments, the light value is already given there. You could just use that. That is one advantage of the EXR file. So anyway, why we are discussing about this? Let's go back to Maya. So now we got a skydome light. Now in the skydome light, there is a color. You can give a color there. Whichever color you wish you like, you could give that. Maybe you can just click and choose. Yeah, it's like an in scene where it's just a war, so it's full of bloodshed there. Yeah, good. Don't do that. Now click here next to the color. You have the swatch. Click that swatch, and are you with me? Click the swatch and choose file. I do again. Go to color next to your swatch. Like that. Now choose file. Choose file. Okay, choose file. Click. Now it will show you by default. Okay, choose the image which you want to apply here. So that you can find a folder icon. Click the folder icon and choose the location where your image is. So, oh my God, I'm inside my advanced character modeling project. So this last class was advanced modeling. So file, set project, and I would like to go to my lighting rendering, glass materials, textile files, okay, textile files. Okay, then. Okay. Now I'm going to click the image name. It will open the source images folder. See source images, and here my hi-fi sky for the extra file. So I'm going to click open. And now, yeah, it will take some time. Yeah, look at that. So what is the beauty of this is, whatever the light information that the EXR file has, that light information is now applied to the entire scene. That is beautiful, right? Because you're not increasing or decreasing the intensity here, which is fake, of course. Whereas here, from the real source, from the real lighting environment, whatever the light information which was received and stored, okay, that information will be applied to the entire thing. So this is a skydome light. So here is the skydome light. So what would happen is, can rotate the thing. So see, now the light is applied around the object. Okay, understand something. Even though the skydome light is smaller here, it will cover the entire area. It will cover the entire thing. But here it is just for your understanding purposes, for your accessibility, they just made it small. Okay, you can scale it up also. See, you can just I can just scroll down my attribute editor, I'm scrolling down. There you can see that I'm just saying viewport. Yeah, there's a viewport, and there the radius is just 1,000. Maybe if I go with 7,000, yeah, it's a bigger one. Look at that. Now it is around everywhere. We go with some 10,000. Don't worry, it won't make any changes. You just make that globe to be a little bigger so you can access it easily. Okay. Now what is next? You can select this and rotate. Once you rotate, because there is a sky texture there, right? So once you rotate, you could witness there will be a change in the texture. And look at that. The sky is changing, right? Look at that. That's really cool. You could use whichever sky you want. You can animate this also. Okay. Anyway, I want to teach you that option now. Okay, that's cool. So please understand that this is how this sky dome light would help you to do things. Do you have any questions for now? Unless we have just 5 more minutes of class, then I leave you guys. Shall we continue?
Sir, I have a doubt, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, does HDRI also work like this, sir?
Yes, yes. High dynamic range image. This EXR is a high dynamic range image. EXR is just an extension, but it falls under high dynamic range image category.
Okay, sir.
And also one thing with EXR is I would say that it is actually a layer of content will be there. There will be several layers of content that will be compressed as one single image extension. It's not only used here for lighting information. It's also used if you remember correctly. I already explained about this in my AOV class. Okay, but I mentioned that you can render beauty paths, specular paths, reflection paths, and many passes, and all the passes will be combined as one single image called EXR. So once you open the EXR file in post-processing tools like After Effects, Nuke, or Fusion, when you open that EXR file, you can extract beauty paths, specular paths, reflection paths, everything as separate images. So it's just a composition of composition of several layers of information. That layers might be render passes like AOV, or that layers might be the light values like the EXR. Okay, that's what's good with the EXR file format. High dynamic range image here. Yeah, if you guys have some time, just open and refer in Google. And this EXR file format is created by ILM Studio. You know ILM, right? Industrial Light and Magic, the makers of I think they're pioneers of visual effects, like from Star Wars. Okay? Why say Star Wars? Because they are pioneers of visual effects. So I mentioned the Star Wars. Okay, there are also many other movies there. Star Wars. Yeah. So that's the format they created by themselves. How did they create it, sir? Development, programming, not just by using the tools you can create that software or extension. You need to know programming. Okay, programming is not difficult yet; it's easy. Anyway, so this is kind of like one thing, and let me just like this Skydome. I delete this Skydome now. Why, sir? Why did I delete it? Download and apply many things. Of course, yes, many. Don't worry, nothing. Go back to Arnold. Lights again. Now, not Skydome light. We're going to physical sky. When I create physical sky, you will get the same. You get a similar Skydome light effect, but it's a physical sky. So what's the difference? What will be in the sky? That is the difference here. So let's pick the physical sky. See that you got the same kind of setup here. And now you could see a similar kind of structure there. Then you can increase intensity here, how much you want to do that. And the color property of this light is already attached there. You could see there is an arrow pointer, which means it's already connected. You can click, and there you could see turbidity, ground albedo, and there are two sky changes. This is the first color I prefer to go with light blue, and the second color I could go with there are two sky beams that you have. And yeah, there is the enable sun option is there. So we enable the sun, but why I couldn't see the sun there? That's an elevation and azimuth angle there. I just get the elevation. Look at the elevation there. Elevation is from the top to bottom. And azimuth angle is from left to right. So sun is there, but sun is little above. Okay, bring it down. Yeah, hope you guys could see that reflection here. Yeah, you guys see that sun is there? That is sun. Azimuth is left to right movement. Elevation is top to down. This is sun, and sun size is 0.5. Let me just the sun size is bigger. Yeah, that is. Can just yeah. So that yeah, the reflection, everything the water material gives you. But this is why the shader is much important. Look at the shader here, the water. The water it really reacts with the light, like how it happens in the real life. Water has a reflection, right? Reflection is anyway you discuss in your textile classes. So there'll be reflection. Reflection happens when a light ray incident on an object. When light ray falls on an object, and that's what reflection. But when the light ray goes inside the object, it comes back in a different angle. We call this the diffraction. Light has its own reflection and diffraction. So that's how we got these colors there. Okay, hope you guys understood how it works. So this is one interesting one area about this Kydon light. So about this physical sun and sky. Now I go to my normal light. So I have my Kydon light there. Now I have my Kydon light also there. I can just bring down a little bit. Now I have a Kydon light. Maybe what if I apply that image we already done? Now I apply my hi-fi sky EXR file. So guys, there are two things now. The same. I have a physical sun and sky, and also now I have a Kydon light. Now I'm just trying to apply this color. Okay. Yes, Kydon light. Try to rotate it. I want to rotate my Kydon light, but not this one. With my Kydon light, I just unstart. Yeah. Yeah, because since there is a texture, there's an image there, I could get to see that. See the sunlight. Yeah, let's see. Go back. Go back. Yeah, look at that. So now it's cool, right? Because now there are two things the same. One is the physical, one is the physical sky, and another is the skydome light. Okay. Then for the skydome light, I applied the sky image, and for the physical sky, I have the sun there. So now, so what do we do? Look at that. I just reduced the skydome light intensity. So now I can see the clouds of skydome light, the cloud image that we gave the file, and of the physical sun, sky, sun is visible there. So it's a combo of both together. Now we know that how we are using both the light to create an environment for that. Okay, hope you guys understood. And now we also know how to apply objects there. So, for example, if I just select this plane, the mountain, right click and go to material attribute, so I can change the property. It's a Lambert, right? What if I change the mountain into metal? Instead of Lambert, I just click here and I go to what is that material form. Look at that. That looks like ice block. Yeah. it looks like a metal. That's how the light is behaving now. So that's a property. That's how we change the property of the object. Okay, so we just try to change it to blend again. Then it's like unpolished, again a metal. Okay, you could try that. And we have other things there. Ramp shader, ramp with different colors. Then combine towards the colors. Anyway, I go back to my numbers. Yeah, and the color is black. This color. Okay, you guys understood now how. Okay, if you have any questions for me, questions or doubts regarding this, please ask.